trust. So thank you so much for your work. And now we're going to ask Khiry Johnson to come on out and gift us with his live presentation. Khiry, where are you? Yes.
Thank you so much. Here you go. Thank you so much. Feels so good to be here. So, like she said, my name is Khiry Johnson. And that's Kyrie, kind of like Kyrie Irving, the basketball player, who has like lots of muscles and money. I have none of those things, but I am super happy to be here with you all today. Now, I am from the Austin community, born and raised on the west side of Chicago, and it feels so good to be a part of this symposium. Thank you so much for everyone tuning in. A little bit about myself is that I have a background in motivational speaking, improv, entertainment, and to be honest, this is the most important thing I could be doing right now with my time. Working to invest in the community, but more importantly, working to invest in the people. And so I've spoken around the world from, the Amazon rainforest all the way up to, Nova Scotia Bay. And so I've been around. And I've seen so much, and I try to take lessons from everything. So when I was a little boy, I was about 5 years old, and I went to a petting zoo, and a llama was nipping at me. It bit my little baby buns. And I could have hated animals forever. But I took the lesson that not everything can be bad, right? I just got to monitor myself, and I have to move correctly. So I don't hate llamas. I just take the lesson that I was supposed to learn. On tour, I was in southern Arizona. It's with a diverse group of people, and we went into an establishment, and there was a noose on the wall, a used noose, hanging up next to a rifle. And I felt so many parts of my insides break looking at that. And so I saw the people around me scurry to do different things. Some people was like, hey, where's the manager? Other people checked on me and the other black people in the group to see how we were feeling. Others pulled up the car like, we have to get out of here. But everyone had a role and they played their part. And so when we look at racial reconciliation, that is what it looks like. It looks like a team effort and everyone has a role. Now the roles may shift, but for the most part, it's pretty obvious what has to happen. Because we understand more about race, but when we look at the reconciliation part, we have to understand that we have to reconcile with ourselves. So a lot of times, if we're talking about coexisting with others in harmony, we have to have harmony inside ourselves. And that is what I realized, is that as I looked at that noose on the wall, I felt the power leaving my body. I felt my destiny no longer in my hands. But Martin Luther King has a quote that says, no man can be on your back unless you're bent over. And I realized that I allowed the outside world to make me feel a way about myself on the inside. And when I did that, I took an L. But that L was a lesson for me, because now I want to build my insides up. I want to build my confidence up, and I want to build my belief in my people up and belief in themselves. And so my ask for you all today is to do the work on the inside. So for me, I will continue to raise awareness. I will continue to try to build confidence, but there's work that each and every last one of us have to do. So some of us have to address an embedded victimization. You need to understand that you are powerful. Some of us have privilege. You need to use that privilege to help others. What is privilege? An unearned advantage that you just have. You were born with it. Privilege looks different depending on whom we're talking about and what we're saying. So, with that being said, I want to play a quick video so that we understand what privilege looks like.
I once saw a high school teacher lead a simple, powerful exercise to teach his class about privilege and social mobility. He started by giving each student a scrap piece of paper and asked them to crumple it up. Then he moved the recycling bin to the front of the room. He said, "The game is simple. You all represent the country's population, and everyone in the country has a chance to become wealthy and move into the upper class. To move into the upper class, all you must do is throw your wadded up paper into the bin while sitting in your seat. The students in the back of the room immediately piped up saying, "This is unfair." They could see the rows of students in front of them had a much better chance. Everyone took their shots and, as expected, most of the students in the front made it, but not all, and only a few students in the back of the room made it. He concluded by saying, "The closer you were to the recycling bin, the better your odds." This is what privilege looks like. Did you notice how the only ones who complained about fairness were in the back of the room? By contrast, people in the front of the room were less likely to be aware of the privilege they were born into. All they can see is 10 feet between them and their goal. Your job as students who are receiving an education is to be aware of your privilege and use this particular privilege called education to do your best to achieve great things, all the while advocating for those in the rows behind you.
Yes, I love that video. And referring back to that video, when we're talking about privilege right now, we have to understand that some of us are in better positions to get things that matter, whether that be education, whether that be justice, or just a shot at a better life. But let me ask you this. In that scenario, what happens if the student that is the furthest away teams up with the people around them and they pass the paper ball to the front for a better chance? Who said that we couldn't help each other throughout the journey? That was never a rule. And so that is why I said we have to change how we see ourselves and how we view each other. Because if we can start to work together, everybody paper ball can go into the bin. No one needs to go without education, justice, healthcare, or anything that is necessary for a better life. So what I want everyone to do is 3 simple things. Learn, take action, and never stop. Now, learning looks different for some people, depending on what your privilege is. Maybe you are a black person who needs to know more about their history. Maybe you need to learn more about the systemic setbacks that you have, that you're facing. If you aren't a black person, maybe you need to learn how to be a better ally. Being an ally looks different because the type of allyship that's needed for racial reconciliation is the top tier allyship. I need you to be an ally when it's not easy. I need you to be an ally when it's not convenient. I need you to be an ally when no one's around to watch you be an ally. Maybe you are nipping things in the bud, whether it be a racist term or derogatory term, when no one's around, nip that in the bud, because that is what we need. We need to learn how we can help each other. So that means listening to people when they say what I do not have and what I need. No ifs or buts. We have to have that communication flowing. Now, taking action, that looks different as well. We're talking about an era right now with the pandemic, but that doesn't mean the work stops. So I urge everyone to program yourselves. What is the music that you're listening to? Is it uplifting you and the people around you? Or is it destroying you and your community? What is the videos that you share? What are the videos you watch on a regular basis? Start to take ownership over how you program yourself and how you love yourself, and watch how it impacts those around you. And whatever you do, don't stop. Once you start to empower yourself and empower the people around you, never give up. No matter how hard it is, you have to continue to take that action. Now, this can be a chant. It could be a positive song that you and your friends have done. You can even create a social media page that puts out nothing but positivity, positive videos, positive quotes. Use social media and don't let it use you. Your timeline has a feed, and that is what you feed your brain. Don't allow social media to control you, and instead control it. So the reason I ask you to not stop is because everyone watching this is a leader. Every single young person, every older person, everyone's a leader. You have people watching you. Deep down, you know that. Sometimes you may say, hey, they copying me, they're a copycat, they jacking my swag, whatever it is. They watch you and they imitate you. And if you do good things, that imitate that as well. Believe in yourself, believe in your people, believe in change. So we are gearing towards a wave of reconstruction. We're going to reconstruct our society. We're going to rebuild our businesses. We're going to rebuild our stores. We're going to rebuild our community. But we have to rebuild ourselves on the inside first so that we can reach real success. And so I want to leave you all with an idea, because I've had people talk to me about feeling anxious, feeling like they can't do, feeling discouraged. And I would always caution to them that, hey, there is a lot of craziness happening in the world. There's also a lot of good, too. This is an example of the good. That feeling in your heart is an example of the good. Now we have to magnify that. We have to hold on to that. We have to focus on that. Magnify that energy. Because much like a boat in the middle of a storm, there's a lot of raging waters around us. Whether you drive around the west side of Chicago, around Chicago as a whole, maybe you go from city to city and you see a lot of things. You feel a lot of the rage in people. But a boat can literally stay afloat if you keep those energies outside. So keep those raging waters outside and don't let it infiltrate you, and stay afloat. Get to where you're going. So whether that looks like working with an amazing nonprofit organization, maybe you are working on donating, PPE items, toiletry, food, whatever it is you want to do, whatever awareness you want to raise, it matters. And no matter what the world tells you, or no matter what the world makes you feel, you matter. Thank you all.